everybody, I know there's only 60 of you that actually watch it, but we're okay. The flooding is in our home here, in our homeland of the Fraser Valley in British Columbia here. There's so much flooding that we literally can't leave the town, which, I mean, for a lot of people, that sucks. I think for these farmers in this area, that sucks.
Yeah.
Their houses are like underwater. There's lots of places that are really bad, like evacuating bad. But we're good.
That's basically how I felt this whole pandemic. Like the pandemic hit, this is hitting, and I'm like, I haven't missed a day of work. Like, nothing's affected me so far.
Yeah, like obviously, like it's very sad what's going on, but I'm just like, my work's fine, my family's fine, most of my friends are fine. I don't think there's anyone. I think some people have a little bit of flooding. But
today was the first day Caden experienced what it means for climate change. Because we were talking about how Castle Fun Park is basically underwater.
Right?
And he's like, whoa, that's crazy. Can we go there later today? And I'm like, no, like we actually cannot. Like it's underwater right now. And he's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, we probably can't go to Castle Fun Park for a little while, man. He's like, oh no. Yeah, there it is.
Caden, you just have to go in the pool, in the tub, and practice holding your breath.
Yeah.
And once you learn to breathe underwater, then we can go.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny too, because back in the 90s, Castle Fun Park was like the same thing happened. Like Whatcom was flooded.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense of why the underwater golf course smells so musky. Because it was literally underwater at one point.
That's so gross.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's crazy the Whatcom scenario though, because it's all the runoff coming from the States, because their lake is flooding obviously as well. But that whole area used to be a lake, apparently, and there's pumps under the ground that are obviously pumping out the water to keep it so that we're a highway and not a lake. But apparently those are almost like malfunctioning. Like last night you're
overworked.
Yeah, there's 200 people sandbagging by the electrical boxes because it was inching closer and closer to taking out all the power.
So I believe it's the Barrowtown pumps. And it's the second hardest working pump in all of North America. Like it is literally moving like I think if all 4 pumps are engaged, it's moving an Olympic-sized swimming pool every minute.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like that is so much water.
Yeah, because the Fraser Valley, or the entire Fraser River, is just feeding right here. But we have one pump pushing everything out. And that's just crazy.
And imagine how, like, you look, like anybody that knows what's going on, you look on a map, you see the aerial view of this area. There's water covering the highway for as far as you can see. And that's with the pump still going.
Yeah.
It's taking that much water out at all times. Like if that thing goes, it's a literal disaster.
Yeah.
Like, there's no coming back.
The river's literally going to start flowing into town.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, will that affect us? Probably. I feel like that'll be the thing
from
that'll push it over the
Chilliwack.
edge.
I think it would be like, it would be close to us. But I know that like closer to like where all the farmland is, where it already is flooded, it could be like about 3 meters or more underwater. And like the average person is 1.5 meters, maybe. Like
that's wild.
Yeah.
Man, I think it's so crazy because like you know, at this point, everyone can look up on like Twitter and see like all of the, you know, at first when it first started, you had to like look on like our local Facebook groups to find like all the pictures like, oh my God, it's so rainy. And like, I remember that first day, I didn't even know it was like bad weather outside. I like walk outside. I'm like, it's raining really hard. Wah, I have to get a better jacket. Like that's how I felt. And then I'm like looking and seeing all the stuff in the morning. I'm like, oh shit, like there's like mudslides, like fucking the mountains falling off.
Man.
There's a chunk of the highway completely erased. Like someone was like, nope.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
I literally woke up with Caden, got him ready for school. We're having breakfast, driving all the way to school. We get there and there's no one there. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where is everyone? Is it not a pro D day? I don't know anything about this.
You don't check the updates?
Well, it was a school day, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but
like,
it's shitty weather.
I just woke up. Yeah, it was a bit of rain, like back in my day.
Yeah, that's
the only responsible adult that wakes up and doesn't immediately check Twitter.
Yeah.
He goes about his real life.
I just woke up and I was just getting ready for the day, man. And I find that, like, yeah, so I got back home and I'm like, what are we gonna do today, Caden? Like, I was very blown up. I was blown away because I just thought everyone was a bunch of wimps.
Well, I think it's kind of funny because it's like what Kyle said in the group chat the other day, where it's like you'd think a place that experiences as much rain as our part of the world does would be better prepared for some rain.
Yeah, we're known for this.
This is what we do.
This was 24 hours. Like, granted, obviously there was a lot of rain, but 24 hours, and we lose highways, we lose mountainsides, we might lose a town. 24 hours of rain. It's crazy.
absurd.
And like what you were saying about it affecting us, like the day to day, I agree. It's not really gonna affect our being injured or being flooded as much, but it's the long term, because there's literally no access. We have no access to more food. The trains are derailed. They can't get through a lot of places. And then even like we've seen it now, the stores are bare because everybody panic buys, because when COVID started, there's no toilet paper. So this time they're like, we're just taking everything. There's not even vegetables. Like, people are eating vegetables for the first time in their life, just in case.
Yeah.
And like, even gas stations are shutting down. Like, this is where if this lasts like 2-3 weeks where they can't gain the access, it's gonna be kind of like when you see a video of like a third world country or like Call of Duty where the helicopter comes and drops the food down. Like, it might actually get to the point where that is the only way we can get food, which is crazy.
Well, I do know that the pilots in the Chilliwack airport, they're offering charters and stuff like that back and forth from Abbotsford to Chilliwack and trying to help people out. Still like making money, obviously, but yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I've got a buddy with a boat kind of doing the same thing. He lives out in Abbotsford. He's real redneck, so he's probably got a fishing rod as he's going, but he does the same thing in the winter. He has a big truck and he sits at the bottom of any big hill, and when a car goes up and falls down, he just, hey, how much money do you have on you? That's how much it costs me to get up the hill. And then that's how he makes his extra money during the winter if there's any shutdowns.
Wow. That's wild.
Huh.
It's I think it's like you said, like those long-term effects. I'm kind of just like hoping it doesn't last too long. Like, there's no food in the grocery stores, there's no gas. I'm kind of like thinking like, man, like, good thing I got like a half tank. I'm not trying to go anywhere.
Yeah, well, the way I see it too is, you know, when you're on the highway and it's like kind of busy, and a car, like 100 cars ahead of you, they'll like hit their brakes really quick, and then the car behind hits their brake a little bit quicker, and then like there's that like slinky effect almost, right? So I feel like this event on its own is going to be fixed relatively quickly. Like, probably in a week or two, highways will be cleared up, we'll be back going. But I feel like the long-term supply chain effect of all of this is going to be like years in the making.
I'd say that's annoying to me.
Even when you said like the brakes, the creepiest thing is in the mornings, because I get up super early. Generally, there's trucks, there's vehicles, whatever. Silent. I'm the only car on the road. There's nobody else. There's no cops on the side. There's nothing at all.
Yeah.
And there's no water. Even like where we are, it's not really affected by the floods aren't on the sides of the roads or anything, but just nobody. And that's scary as hell, because those people that are driving at night are what supply the day. Like for my work, we're going to be out of aggregate, out of sand, out of rock. That means that we can't be building the stuff that goes under anything that gets made. And all these places that need wood, need this. Everything shuts down.
Yeah.
And at that point, that's what scares me, is in the 2 to 3 weeks of people not having a job, not having a paycheck. That I don't trust anybody in general, but I really don't have faith in downtown Chilliwack being civil. I don't think that's gonna stick.
No.
I'm lucky I got my house a little bit too far away, so it takes a long time to rob me, but it's still scary business.
Yeah, I think it, I also was too reflecting, like, I only just got a new job like locally, but for the longest time I was working in Abbotsford. So if this happened even a month or two earlier, I could have been going to work. I could have been having the highway shut down at like 7:00, and then I would have been like, cool, I'm off at 2 a.m. I got nowhere to go, and all my friends are asleep. And now what? I just sleep in my car for the next couple days to a week. How long is this? How long is the highway going to be closed? Like,
Untold.
If it just gets more underwater, it's only getting worse.
Yeah, I feel like this winter will probably be bad, and we'll just be on the verge of fixing all of this, and then winter will just hit. So then
Yeah.
like anything that's still flooded, just frozen.
My nephew Davies made a joke that I thought was kind of funny. He was like, "Yeah, we got record-setting heat, we got crazy winds, now we've got crazy floods. All we need is an earthquake now, and the Avatar is mad at us." I was like, "Damn,
Bro, that'll be next year. I'm telling you. We're
Yeah.
like 200
Please
years
give
overdue.
us a year. Please.
It's not gonna happen, man.
We've been overdue for like 100 years or something
Yeah.
like crazy like
Yeah.
that. The Juan de Fuca plate or something like
Yeah.
that.
Everyone's been talking about like we're gonna hit the roaring 20s again. It's like back in the 1920s, everyone was just partying all the time, like Great Gatsby kind of thing. It's like, yeah, so far the Great 20s is fucked.
Yeah, maybe it was a
We're
good time for
screwed.
you white people. What the fuck? I don't want to live in the 20s. I'm gonna be out here mowing lawns and shit. Nah, man,
Yeah.
I ain't about
I
that.
think more
life.
about the age of prosperity,
Yeah.
not the racism part.
Yeah,
but
I'm not about that life.
In the 20s, it's like everybody's having fun, but everybody's dying at 40. Like you're not living long.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not trying
Yeah.
to bang my sisters. This is weird. Why did it get there? Anyway, so let's move on to the next.